Fire in the pit barrel hole. Let's cook some ribs. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome once again to my backyard. What I got going on for you today is I've got 2 slabs of baby back ribs that I've taken the membrane off the bone side and I've cut them in half to make them easier to get in my marinade bag. Got one of these 2-gallon Ziplocs. I'm going to get the ribs in there. Get them out of my way for now. And then we'll mix up this awesome marinade for these drunken ribs. We're going to get these ribs drunk and take them out and have a good time with them. So let me get those out of the way. Get this pan out of the way. And we'll get our marination done. And this marinade is a great marinade. Calls for a grated Granny Smith apple, which I probably should have grated that ahead of time, but I peeled it. I'm just gonna grate up this Granny Smith apple. That's nice stuff right there. It's a good, you love Granny Smith apples because they're like kind of got a sour taste to them. That's good stuff. A little bit of a grated Granny Smith apple. And don't worry, down in the description will be all the directions and the quantities for all this whole marinade. So there you go with a half or a whole Granny Smith apple. To that we want to add a cup of brown sugar, and then we need some soy sauce. We need a half a cup of soy sauce, and so I measure everything carefully. Half a cup of soy sauce. I should have took that restrictor off of there because now it's going to take forever to get a half a cup of soy sauce into the frickin' bowl. But I got time. I know you're in a hurry. You could fast forward, I guess. Anyway. Okay, so what we got so far is the Granny Smith apple, half a cup of soy sauce, and the brown sugar. It's already looking, it looks amazing. I tell you, it smells great too. Okay, then we need a half a cup of honey. Some nice clover honey. Carefully measuring out a half a cup of that. Get that in there. Now we got a sticky, sweet marinade, and we need to cut it down a little bit, I think. So I think we're going to put about 1/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. Carefully measured apple cider vinegar. There you go. Boy. Now here's the kicker, folks. We got some Wild Turkey Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This is a pretty good whiskey. Wild Turkey. We're gonna put a cup of that in there. Cup of whiskey. Yeah, that's almost a cup, isn't it? That's about a cup. Okay, might be a little bit more than a cup, but I don't mind. Do you? Well, we got to get these ribs drunk somehow, right? So that's our marinade. I'm gonna pour that on the ribs. Put it in the fridge overnight, and we're gonna reserve that marinade later. We're gonna make a barbecue sauce with that, so don't throw away the marinade. Let me get that on the ribs, get them in the fridge, and tomorrow we'll crank up the pit barrel and smoke these ribs, so stay tuned. My well marinated ribs are hanging in the pit barrel, and there's nothing left to do now but let them cook for about 4 hours. I got some hickory wood in there for some smoke. And that's nothing left to do now. Like I said, let them cook for about 4 hours. And we're going to take this marinade and make a barbecue sauce with it. So stay tuned. I'll show you how we do that. I've got the leftover, or the marinade, in a pot. We're going to make a barbecue sauce of this. We got to bring it up to a boil to, in order to, sterilize it. Because it's been in with that pork. So what we need to put into this is a cup of ketchup, cup of your favorite chup, to make a barbecue sauce out of that marinade, and half a cup of Grandma's molasses in there. It's going to take just about all the molasses I have left right here. Yeah, oh yeah. I could put some more bourbon in there, but it already smells great. Plenty of bourbon in there. And 1/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. That's the recipe for barbecue sauce. So what I'm going to do now is stir this all up and bring it up to a boil and let it thicken up, and that'll be the sauce for our ribs. So it's smelling great, looking good already. Gotta get that everything dissolved in there, and I gotta get this up to a boil. You want to make sure you boil it if you're doing this at home, because you want it to thicken up. That piece of ketchup right there that wouldn't quite mash down. Look at that. Anyway, yeah, you want this to thicken up into a sauce. Look at those pieces of Granny Smith apple flavoring that thing in that bourbon. Really giving it some good flavor. Okay, let me get that cooked down, and when my ribs are about 4 hours in, I will baste them with this barbecue sauce. So stay tuned. My drunken ribs are done. I think they sobered up a little bit in the pit barrel after 5 hours. It's time for me to get a little bit tipsy. Here's today's beer. This is from the Wicked Weed Brewing Company, and this is called Astronomical Hazy IPA. Let's see if I can pour this out without spilling it, like I did the last several beers. Alright, so far so good. It didn't foam up out of the can like the last one. Let's tilt the glass and be carefully pour this hazy IPA into the glass. And I'm getting a bit of foam. Yeah, it's coming up. I don't know what it is with me. I just can't do a good pour. I don't know. Is there any hope for me, Victor? Victor Bitters, is there any hope for me? This is... I gotta move this. Astronomical Hazy IPA from the Wicked Weed Brewing Company. This is quite a large beer. It's 7.7 alcohol by volume. Asheville, North Carolina, the Wicked Weed Brewing Company. There it is, Wicked Weed Brewing Company. Let's sniff the sniff off of it. Lassa, what do you think, baby? Oh man, that's a huge beer. You can really smell the hops in that. Let's quaff the froth off it, Lassa, buddy. What do you think? Wow, that is an excellent hazy IPA. And even though it's 7.7% alcohol, you don't really taste it. The hops and the citrus really come through on that. That's a great beer right there. Astronomical Hazy IPA. I'm going to remember that one. The Wicked Weed Brewing Company. Let's get those ribs over here and get a taste of them. Stay tuned. Man, those ribs are looking right. Let me tell you what, I got some of that bourbon flavored sweet barbecue sauce that I made with that with the drippings, not the drippings, but the marinade. Gonna drop some of that on there. Oh boy. Oh man. You know, the one thing that I like most about pork loin ribs is they got so much meat on them. Look at the meat on that thing. Let me get some of that in my mouth. Mmm. Oh. That's delicious. You can really taste the bourbon. Mmm. Oh, I'm here to tell you. Matt, I hooked it up this time. I really hooked it up this time. These ribs are outstanding. Outstanding. Mmm. Delicious. I gotta tell you, this is a great recipe. Gotta try it. Listen, you know what I always say, if you like this crap, please subscribe. If you don't, go up and see a new guy. His channel name is Mind Blown Cooking, or Blow Your Mind Cooking, or Cooking to Blow Your Mind. Anyway, he's a cool dude. Go check him out. He won the Tango Spice from last week, so maybe he'll be making something good soon. And like I said, if you don't like what I'm doing, go see Mind Blown Cooking. Come back next week. We may not cook anything good, but if it's as good as these ribs, I'll tell you what, these are outstanding. Anyway, we may not cook anything good, but we will drink a beer. And this Astronomical from Wicked Weed Hazy IPA is in the top 10 of my beers right now. It's awesome. There you have it, babies. Drunken Ribs. This is just number 1 of my drunken cooking series. I hope to do 3 more videos of drunken food. Yeah, so check it out. That's my video. Bye.